Hey, all right, here we go.
No, there are some countries whose leaders don't support free speech. I'm not at liberty to say which. Let's just leave it at North Korea and CBS.
Whenever the left tries to convince you that they are pro-free speech, or that they are a Christian but, or that they are pro-Second Amendment, but you know that they are lying to you. Same if they say something is unconstitutional. These people supported the banning of folks like you. Last night, you forgot, like everyone, it was the Oscars, and they were incredibly gay. Just gay. It's time for Entertainment Minute. All right, how many did we end up with? Top 5, or did we end up, I think we ended up with a bonus 6. So 5 worst moments from the Oscars. By the way, if you're watching this as a clip, 11 a.m. Eastern, that's when we stream every day. We still do it live. We chat with you. You can check the references too. Every show, we give you a bibliography. Here's the first moment that we watch so you don't have to. Conan O'Brien's really cringy, and we're going to fact check it because just take their premise. Here's the problem with comedy now. Take the premise of a leftist, and the reason the joke isn't funny is because the premise is not rooted in any kernel of truth. Here's Conan O'Brien joking about pedophiles, something with the Brits. He's wrong on all counts.
It's the first time since 2012, that there are no British actors nominated for Best Actor or Best Actress. Yeah. British spokesperson said, yeah, well, at least we arrest our pedophiles. So we got that going for it.
Yeah, except they don't.
Whoops.
They don't. I mean, we're not even going to get into the grooming gangs that the British government helped cover up. But Prince Andrew, in case you guys forgot, he was arrested for like mishandling confidential documents, not the actual
British government also has arrested like 1,200 people for their Facebook posts. So I also don't even like, what's Conan O'Brien doing these days? Does he still have a show? Like, what's his vibe? Yeah. Anyways, was he ever funny? Question mark.
File sort of activities that he or sexual assaults that he'd been carrying out.
But you can't really say anything if you're the UK government because you have the grooming gangs that you just ignored for so long because you didn't want to be Islamophobic or whatever, even though it's not a real fucking thing. So yeah, nonsense. Anyways, let's continue.
So they don't. They're actually far worse than us. The Muslim grooming gangs, which were protected by the government because they didn't want people to be discriminatory, it's actually the opposite of the truth. Also, zero credible evidence whatsoever of President Trump's involvement with Epstein, with anything untoward outside of cooperating with authorities and kicking him out of Mar-a-Lago. Doesn't matter if someone made some random accusation. I know you have people on the dissident horseshoe right who want to say there's something there. There's not. You can check the references. They're just allying with the left. Number 2, Jimmy Kimmel is going to Jimmy Kimmel. And just think of the entitlement. He's complaining about CBS canceling Colbert. And so this is what the left does. They don't understand the First Amendment because they don't actually believe in it. So they conflate it with their sense of entitlement. Here you go.
Are you exhausted?
Am I exhausted?
By the state of the world and knowing every night you've got to say something.
You looking in my face. And
No, but I mean,
yes, I'm exhausted. Of course, it's ridiculous. We live in a ridiculous country. We always lived
As
in a
opposed to
ridiculous
Congo.
country, but it's always ridiculous in a fun Mr. T kind of way.
Right.
Now we've got a different Mr. T.
As you know, there are some countries whose leaders don't support free speech. I'm not at liberty to say which. Let's just leave it at North Korea and CBS. Fortunately,
CBS is
it's not
government leader.
Why is he so sweaty? First of all, also, why does he look so nervous? And why does he look like he's really trying hard to read? Like he does this every night. Just go, have some flow, have some fluidity. That was so forced and also not funny, but.
fortunately for all of us, there is an international community of filmmakers dedicated to telling the truth.
Yes, fortunately for the world. Thank God, because under the oppression of North Korea and CBS, you guys are going to shoot us straight. You know, you guys who advocated for lockdowns, you guys who advocated for deplatforming anyone who disagreed with you, you guys who advocated for doctors treating patients during COVID, saying there might be natural immunity, that they should be banned. You guys also just think about this. They don't defend freedom of speech out there. Where were they with January 6th? Colbert, like, you talk about CBS. Not only is it not the town square, it's not even the digital town square. It's not a platform like X or Facebook or YouTube. It's a network that pays him millions of dollars to make the argument that there is a free speech infringement on Colbert. You would have to ignore the fact that he only has 219,000 viewers in the demo, down from 800,000 in the peak in 2017, which is still awful. And he loses the network $40 to $50 million a year. So let me ask you, at what point is it just terminating employment because you're losing the company money? You need to address that if you're going to say this is clearly just about speech. Well, we didn't have a problem with his speech. Do we want to say that what's changed is Colbert went from being moderate to being far left, my right, your left? Or is the change that nobody wants to watch him, that he's losing them money? Whenever the left tries to convince you that they are pro-free speech, or that they are a Christian but, or that they are pro-Second Amendment but, you know that they are lying to you. Same if they say something is unconstitutional. These people supported the banning of folks like you. Number three.
If it was about controlling his speech, they wouldn't have given him a year and a half notice.
Exactly. It's like,
hey, after these quarters, after we've already projected losing this money for the next year and a half, we are done losing money.
Right.
That's a violation of free speech.
Look, you're losing us $40 to $50 million a year. You get less than a tenth of the viewership that Letterman would get in his peak. I get a changing media landscape, but the fact is, you're costing us like $50 million a year. We're going to give you 1 year warning to get your affairs in order, plus a very generous severance package, I have no doubt. And, then we're probably going to run something that hopefully will be profitable for us. That's when the left decides to put themselves at the front lines, in harm's way for freedom of speech. Not when millions of you...
The loss of $40 to $50 million is staggering, and someone still has a job.
We're being banned and removed for opinions that were shared by half the country. Moment number three, because I guess we're still doing this crap. K-pop Demon Hunters won Best Animated Feature. So that matters. Animated feature, yes, means cartoon, animated. And the director, Maggie Kang, decided to use this as a moment to bitch about or be grateful that now they finally have representation. It's 2026. This is still going on.
Thank you to the Academy and to all the fans who got us here. And for those of you who look like me, I'm so sorry that it took us so long to see us in a movie like this. It is here. And that means that the next generations don't have to go longing. This is for Korea and for Koreans everywhere.
Which Korea? Also, we didn't see you.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
We didn't see anybody. And you're the director, right?
Oops.
None of this makes sense. Here's another fast fact for you. Parasite won Best Picture in 2020. Yoon Yoo-jung, if I'm saying that right, won Best Supporting Actress for Minari in 2021. And Maggie Kang is married to a white dude.
Oh, come on.
She could have just a very white dude.
Yeah.
Looks like D-Day's dad.
Like a skater.
The truth is, instead of going on about representation, because this is what we have to do now, they've lost their victim status, so they have to make one up. And now it's so obvious. The good news is it's ineffectual. She really could have just cut her speech short.
And for those of you who look like me, I'm so sorry.
The end.
You have to create some.
She could have just said, thank you. This is an honor. God bless. And then left.
Kind of glass ceiling. It's like when Jennifer Lawrence came out after Hunger Games and she was like, it's just great to be the first female lead in an action movie. And people were like, what?
What? It's not even remotely true.
No. You have decades of leading ladies before you.
Yeah. It's just, let's bring us to number four. This is also why I tried to avoid the infighting drama on the right with right-wing podcast bros all going like, I'll sit down for a debate, but I'm not going to keep doing the pot shots like people do. Because the left does that. The New Yorker decided to stir up some drama with Timothy Chalamet. So they put this tweet out throwing shade at him saying, Misty Copeland comes out of retirement to put Timothy Chalamet in his place during a live Sinners performance at the Oscars.
Who is Misty Copeland?
I guess a ballet dancer or opera or something, because the tweet was supposedly a clapback toward these comments that Chalamet made regarding ballet and opera with the functionally retarded Matthew McConaughey. Remember when a bunch of right-wing people tried to tell you he'd be a good governor? Yeah, that retarded one.
I'm really right in the middle, Matthew, because I admire people, and I've done it myself, to go on a talk show and go, hey, we got to keep movie theaters alive. You know, we got to keep this genre alive. And another part of me feels like if people want to see it like Barbie, like Oppenheimer, they're going to go see it and go out of their way to be loud and proud about it. And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. All respect to the ballet and opera people out there. I just lost 14 cents in viewership. But damn, I just took shots for no reason.
That's not a shot. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Bring out the ballet dancers. That'll show him.
Nobody does care about that. It's such a small part of the American audience. Come on.
Like, fine. Everything has to be a thing. Oh, I'm sorry for the first time that.
That's true. I mean, I saw this on like Threads and X, like people saying that Chalamet should get canceled and he's a fucking idiot and we're not supporting him anymore. It's like, why does everything always have to be a thing? But then like, it's cool that it's a thing because then we can come on here and laugh and react about it. So like, what the fuck am I saying? But it is kind of ridiculous. But it's like he's one of the most popular and famous actors in the world right now. He's on top of the world. Let the dude say whatever he wants. He also had a funny interview with LeBron James and Steve Nash, I think, that I saw a few clips from. But everything has to be a thing all the time. But so far, these these moments are pretty fucking gay. And I like how he called Matthew McConaughey functionally retarded. That was funny.
Korean directors like me who are not seen on camera can make this animated feature that people just liked the movie. Just shut up. This is the thing. It's just, now I know that it's funny to watch this with the Oscars, but take these people, put them in positions of power, and that's what you get in academia. That's what you had with the Biden administration, right? They share the same exact views as the modern Democrat Party. Number 5. Of course, you knew this was going to happen because these people didn't get the memo. Something, Gaza, free Palestine, and Javier Bardem.
Tell me about your pin you're wearing and why it was important to wear it tonight.
Yeah, it's an Artist for Ceasefire pin, and what we are demanding is a ceasefire in Gaza. And I think that I am so blessed to have a platform, and this is the least I can do to use it. And like sometimes the news cycle is so fast and people move on, but the people in Gaza
we made
and the
these
West Bank
pins
are
a month
still
ago.
suffering.
This pin is a collaboration with an artist called Shepherd Ferry. It's Artists for Ceasefire.
Who's a
We're
creep in the
demanding a
back?
permanent ceasefire.
David Cross,
because there is
thanks
no
Karl
ceasefire
Marx.
right now. There are bombings happening to this day, destruction, displacements all over the world. In Palestine, in Lebanon, in Iran, in Venezuela.
The next person's going to say, tear down that
This is
wall.
happening in the U.S. ICE as well, yes.
ICE as well.
This is a demand for a permanent ceasefire. Yes.
No to war.
Not war.
And free Palestine.
Not a lot of politics talk tonight on the stage. We did have Javier Bardem. We know you're outspoken. What was your reaction to hearing Javier call out for Palestine?
It was absolute pride and gratitude. Obviously,
Good.
he is so outspoken and always has been, and I really appreciate his voice in a room like that where literally no one else said anything.
Scene.
Nice.
Yes, literally no one else.
No, nobody.
This is what they do. This is just, I'm so glad that you guys see the facade. They act as though there's some form of oppression.
She was also
It's just cringy. That's what it is. It's cringy.
thanking him.
Right.
As if she's Palestine.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Or if she has anything to do with it at all.
What do you think would happen? Okay, let me just put this in context. This was done, I believe, at the Dolby Theater. What do you think would happen if they just did this at a theater in Palestine? How long before a barrage, just a hailstorm of missiles, of rockets just landed right on them to get rid of every single LGBTQ degenerate? Like, how long do you think
Or Jew.
a group of them
Whoa, geez, yeah, that's right.
in Palestine would last? They would be shocked at the layup. They're like, they're really going to come here and let us kill all of them?
You don't want to free Palestine, trust me.
Like, it's just
As Indian.
think about it. Joy Reid earlier praising Mali, like, where they execute gay people, where they kill child soldiers, and them talking about wherever you line up. And this is also, I have a problem with people just go, no war. Well, sure, no useless war, no endless war. Well, yeah, but not all wars are endless. The left, they're the ones who are just go, no war. They're upset about Venezuela. You think the Venezuelan people are?
They're obsessed. Like, it's very annoying because they're obsessed with, well, some people are obsessed with like the slogan. The slogan is the most important thing, and that's everything. Trans rights are human rights, and sex work is real work, and free Palestine, and all these like just slogans, these meaningless slogans that have a bunch of so context to them, but you don't know the context. You don't know why you're saying it. You just say it because you're virtue signaling, and you just you think you're the paragon of virtue because you're saying these things, and it's fucking ridiculous and it's embarrassing. And it's the exact example as Joy Reid, which we watched earlier. It's like these people saying the same thing. They don't even know what the fuck is going on, and they would never live in that country or go to that country or even help that country or help those people, but they're going to claim they're going to help by just saying the words. The slogan is everything. Whatever. Fucking dumb.
We'll talk about Cuba, if not today. It's developing. We'll talk about them tomorrow. Like,
their baseball team's playing in the semifinals, Venezuela.
Good for them.
Seem pretty happy.
I don't know anything about baseball, but hey, okay, good. They're glad about it. The people of
They're
Iraq,
actually playing in the World Baseball Classic Championship against Team USA right now, March 17th, and I'm about to watch it when I'm done with this stream. Here we go.
are glad about it. The people of Cuba are now asking for it. Doesn't mean that it's our job. We only do it if it's in our interests. But these people consistently side with the regimes who oppress their own people. That's what you need to understand. With a simplistic view like no war, what that means is regimes should be allowed to destroy and kill their own people. Same thing for Vietnam. I agree with you that Vietnam was a very, very poorly executed war. It became a quagmire.
Yeah.
But there is no doubt about communist Vietnamese killing their own people, torturing. Like, that's the reason that there was a conflict. You guys do have to acknowledge that, right? Here's a bonus because this guy's really gay. Director David Bornstein, who I'm sure would fare fantastically in Palestine, compared Putin's Russia to President Trump's America.
Mr. Nobody Against Putin is about how you lose your country. And what we saw when working with this footage, it's that you lose it through countless small little acts of complicity. When we act complicit, when a government murders people on the streets of our major cities. When we don't say anything, when oligarchs take over the media and control how we can produce it and consume it.
Aren't the oligarchs in that room?
We all face a moral choice, but luckily, even a nobody is more powerful than you think.
Yeah, but not if you had your way. Banned,
right?
Deplatformed for saying, you know what, kids don't need the COVID vaccine. Remember, that was a ban. That all major conservatives who thought there might be election interference, banned. Anyone who said that you cannot actually change your gender for a long time, suspended, banned.
Yep.
There was a department of misinformation under the Biden administration. The Hunter Biden laptop story, banned. People censored. So you think that the issue is, oh, people are not free to speak as you speak. What they're really mad about is decreased viewership. They think if people are given more options, like you right now watching on Rumble. By the way, download the Rumble app. That's the best way to stay in touch. You get notifications when we're live. They think that is a problem because they see decreased viewership on their dinosaur networks. And then they go, oh, fewer people watching. That must mean that we're being silenced. He also went into more retarded depth on this backstage.
It seemed like you were making a parallel in your acceptance speech with what might be happening in America. Do you see parallels, or are we reading too much into it?
Well, one interesting thing about working with a team of Russians throughout this process has been my desire as an American to constantly compare the situation in America to Russia. But a lot of my Russian colleagues and friends always said, no, it's not the same situation. It's actually happening quicker in America than it's been happening in Russia. Trump was moving a lot quicker than Putin moved in his early years. So that's kind of all I have to say to that.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's the thing. If you made that movie in Russia, you would never see the light of day again. You'd be arrested. During his first year in office, Putin had his biggest media opponent arrested.
Oh, come on.
Hey, where are you guys speaking about Brazil? Our friend Paulo Figueiredo, right? Has to be in exile. Bolsonaro's son. I always forget the name of really Alan.
Alan
dos Santos. Arrested, right? Jail. Where are you? There are regimes right now that arrest people. Hey, Canada. Where are you during Canada when people have their bank accounts frozen? Actual acts of fascism.
Well, maybe they're talking about maybe his biggest media opponent is Don Lemon being arrested for free speech, not for intimidating kids at a church.
Right. Can you guys give us any example? We can point you to examples of plenty of conservatives. We just have myself. You can look at the Twitter files. You can look at the Gizmodo article where it was leaked. You can look at demonetization. You can look at the Vox apocalypse. You can look at the Hunter Biden laptop story. You look at those doctors during COVID, and I believe it was Orange County, California, banned, removed, saying that I believe they were talking about ivermectin as potential treatments. You can look at Brett Weinstein. You can across any examples that you guys have. Any. Even with Don Lemon, his videos weren't even taken down. They weren't removed from social media. He just may be charged with actually disrupting a private place of worship. Anyone, any examples? Because I just gave you about 10. Oh, you're still here, which is a miracle.
Thanks, Crowder. That was pretty cringy. The Oscars are very cringy, and they've gotten very cringy because most of the people there, right, are like the elite where they're just like so far removed from real life and real life problems and real life struggles. And that's why most people don't watch this shit anymore. And that's why celebrities and A-list people aren't really famous anymore. It's more like the streamers and everyday people are kind of famous because they show their real life and the struggles and things like that. And then of course they get rich and you have a lot of money and then maybe things change. But like those people are so far removed from like everyday human beings, like being in the world, with all the stuff that they have, private planes and nannies and daycare, whatever it is, like all this type of shit that you potentially can have, that the only way they can feel kind of connected to us people potentially is by saying these weird slogans, platitudes, empty promises, virtue signaling, so that they feel connected to humanity while they go back to their house and literally do nothing of note about it. And I'm not saying that's anything wrong. They're like with their job. No, obviously they got great at their job. And they produce good art, and they should be rewarded for that for sure. But like, it's just a job, just like any other job. And I don't know why they're seen as elite or more, maybe because they have more money or whatever. If you have more money, then obviously you can buy more stuff and you have more privilege. But they're just so far removed from society that the slogans they spew without any back knowledge of them is how they stay connected to like being a regular person. At least that's my take.